So folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. As you can hear in the background, I do have the heater going. It gets absolutely freezing in the shed here down under, and it is well and truly winter is upon us. So there needs to be something done in here because it is absolutely freezing, as you can tell, the hoodie and the trackies as well. So like I said, we are getting back onto the A series engine for Grace today. We're going to be continuing with it. I've already gone ahead and done the camshaft timing. If you haven't already, check that out on my channel. As I've said before, there's no point in me rehashing a lot of stuff unless you guys want to see something specific. So I've already gone and done that. I've installed the distributor drive spindle. We're going to install the sleeve for it. The other Welsh plugs, other than the second one because it's hidden behind the engine plate that holds it onto the stand. Probably install the gearbox as well as the transfer case, maybe even do the flywheel as well. That's all been balanced. We're going to measure a couple of things. I'm going to run you guys through it. So enjoy the episode. Let's get straight to it. Alright folks, so as you can see here, what I'm doing is putting the plunger in for the oil pressure relief valve. You can either run a plunger or a ball. I was taught a little trick that in order to gain more oil pressure, you can do a couple of things. First one is have a look at the taper on the plunger and make sure that it's actually seating properly against where it needs to. And by checking it, all you need to do is put a little bit of assembly lube or Vaseline around the tapered edge, push it all the way in and pull it out, and just make sure that it's actually seating all the way along there to ensure that it's actually holding. Sometimes the chamfer inside the gearbox, inside the block, will not be sharp enough, therefore it won't hold the oil pressure against it. If that's the case, you can just lightly machine using a drill inside there just to get that chamfer back on there to ensure that it's seating all the way along. Or two, you can just upgrade the spring. Now this is a Cooper S oil pressure relief valve spring. It is actually shorter, but it has a higher spring tension. So in saying that, that's exactly what we need to be able to generate a little bit more oil pressure. As you can see, it is quite firm to be able to push on. I'm going to now go ahead and install one of the newest components of the build. I'll put a link in the description below. They are from SCAN 3D, I believe. And I just thought, since I'm rolling with a silver gearbox, I might as well get a couple little accessory bits to make the car look that little bit better. Using a 3/4 inch socket, you'll wind it in and just nip it up. Make sure as well, whenever you take this bolt out, you should always replace the copper gasket behind there with a new one. Right, so I didn't actually think I'd be able to put this Welsh plug into the engine whilst it was like this, but apparently I can. Just a nice couple of good hits and away we go. So one of the things that my wife absolutely hates is me hoarding stuff. If you can just see in the very background there, behind that milk crate is a tub of parts. That's all my spare parts that I've bought over the years. And not because I've got spares of everything and I haven't always refitted things, I sometimes accumulate multiple parts, and this is one of them. This is the distributor sleeve O-ring. This is a component that comes in most engine rebuild kits, so I've got a bunch of those. Always good to have spares, that way if you ever pull it apart, you can ensure that you replace it and know that it's Mickey Mouse. Alright, you can either use Vaseline or oil just here, just lubricate it, just that way it goes in nice and smoothly, doesn't bind up and score it whatsoever. This will only go in one way as well. Just a bit tight because it does have a little bit of paint on the inside. I might just run a bit of emery cloth around there just to clean that up, I think. I did originally have a bit of tape in this, but obviously I didn't do it right up to the end of the hole. I probably could have, but I know for next time. Good thing as well, I don't have the gearbox on there. The last thing I want to do is upset the apple cart and all the people in the comments and say, why didn't you take the gearbox off? Now you're going to get paint in there. Well, gearbox is on. A little bit of paint, I doubt, is going to cause any significant issues, especially with the running or drivability of it. Just going to use a little bit of brake cleaner just to clean it up, just to ensure that there's nothing left in there and keep those internet keyboard warriors happy. Grab the sleeve, give it a wiggle, line up with the bolt hole, put in your bolt in, and away we go. G'day folks, Tomo here from Tomo's Tune-Ups. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button to my channel. Not only will you be kept informed as to when I release new videos, but also it helps to grow my channel, my analytics, and most importantly, recommend videos to yourself and new subscribers. Alright, so I'm going to stop the video just there. Some of you may have realized the mistake that I made and are probably in the comment section going, what are you doing? You're an idiot. Put it back, take them off. Others are probably sitting there going, what's wrong? So, the lock tabs that I fitted to the conrods with the ARP bolts, that is a big no-no. When I fitted these, I thought to myself, that's a bit strange. I don't understand why they've got it on there and if they're needed. I should have really done a bit of research first prior to doing so. Through Instagram, some of you may have seen the little blow up that happened with myself and a subscriber. Said person is known for telling people how he feels. Now, that's completely fine. And, you know, I'm all up for people voicing their opinion. However, when you're putting someone down in doing so, and instead of guiding them and giving them information that is informative and something to learn from, when that information isn't delivered and you come across like a complete fuckwit, doesn't get absorbed very well. You get people offside. I respect that, you know, some people just don't care. Some people will speak how they feel, and that's fine. Everyone has the freedom of speech to say how they feel. But to treat someone like absolute shit and to put them down on social media, trying to belittle them and make them feel bad, in my books, it doesn't go down very well. Now, this conversation came about and said person had seen this and commented and pretty much let me have it. It was only through a good friend, in which I actually bought the engine off, did he ring and informed me the reason behind it. So instead of this person abusing me and saying this is the reason why you shouldn't do it, he pretty much just said, give up what you're doing, your channel's shit, it's not worth continuing. My mate rang me and said, the reason why you don't do that is simply this. When you put a lock tab underneath a bolt or a washer, the lock tab is there to use to help prevent that nut coming undone. And that is only applicable to a standard hexagonal nut, not a double hex bolt or nut, depending on what you're using. The reason why is because you have the conrod, then on top of that you have a piece of metal. You then put a washer on top and then a nut. When you tighten it down, it compresses that piece of metal. Over time, the lock tab starts to move and becomes loose, and then in becoming loose, it then loosens the conrod bolt, the conrod bolt comes out, and lo and behold, the bottom half of the engine is destroyed. When using ARP bolts, or anything other than standard bolts, you do not need to use these lock tabs. These cost me like $4 each. I'm not overly fussed about the cost. I've said this once, and I'll say it again. If you're gonna comment on my videos, I'm all up for feedback. My channel has a history of learning mistakes like this, going back through and visibly showing that I made a mistake, that I cocked up, that I had to redo it. Whether it cost me $200, whether it cost me nothing, whether it cost me just time, doesn't matter. If you're gonna give me criticism, that's fine, but give me a reason why. Don't just say, you're an idiot for doing that, end of story. Tell me why I'm an idiot. Why am I an idiot for fitting those? What did I do here that was wrong? Give me that feedback, because that is essentially how we learn. If we're not making mistakes, are we just getting by? Are we just giving off the wrong information? Are we doing something completely wrong? Without being criticised, you never know if you're doing the right thing or not. So I don't have a problem against this person. I don't hate said person. But I just feel let down to think that I was thinking of him as a bit of a mentor and using a lot of his knowledge to be able to gain access to being a better mechanic, to being a better YouTuber. Everything I do on my YouTube channel is the way that I do it. This is my own personal way. Sure, there's things out there that I may do differently to you, and that's fine. Keep in mind that I am a qualified and licensed mechanic. I may do DIY videos to show you how to do something, but that is the way in which I do it. I don't hold any responsibility for anyone watching my videos doing the things that I do, and if something fails, well, that's up to the viewer and viewer's discretion to be able to choose whether they do it the way that I do it the way that they want to, or seek other advice. What I'd advise is, moving forward from here, is if you don't like something I'm doing, flick me an email, send me a message, post it down below, but tell me what I'm doing wrong. Not only that, but also help me to learn. Help me to learn what I need to do to become better. Help each other. That is exactly what this channel is about. Helping one another grow and become better people, better mechanics, better mini enthusiasts. Simple as that. Oh, and there's also the option, if you don't like what I do, unsubscribe. It's pretty simple. So, that being said, I'm going to pull these lock tabs out. We're going to swap them over, use no lock tabs, and away we go with the build. Now, on that note, I'll quickly just re-mention again that I am a practicing and licensed mechanic. You should never be attempting something like this by yourself without the proper guidance or experience. Failure to do so can result in catastrophes like this. I'm certainly not perfect, nor do I ever come across like I am. If you're ever unsure, I'm more than happy to answer a question. Alternatively, I would advise that you seek professional advice from someone who does it full time and ask their opinion and potentially even give it to them. Being a mechanic can be easy, it can also be challenging. These are the sort of challenges that we run into. Considering this is my engine, if it had gone kablamo, it would have just been something that I would have had to deal with. If it was a customer's car, well, then that's, a pretty big mess up. But owning your mistakes. As I said, if you're going to leave feedback, please make it constructive. Alright folks, it's getting cold. I've done enough for today's episode and I've had enough whinging. So let's call it quits. Let's continue on the next episode where we are going to put the gearbox on, the transfer case, the wok, the clutch assembly, finish off the front timing case and get it back together so we can get it back in grace and hopefully running in a couple of days. Thanks for watching. Stay positive and catch you on the next episode of Tomo's Tune-Ups.